Hello and welcome again to Paul's Racing Channel and to the Ultimate Racing League, sponsored by upshiftstore.co.uk and Hambridge Transport. So this is round 5 of our BTCC Replica Championship in association with digitalmotorsports.com. We are at Belgium and we're at the Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps. It's a great circuit. These guys are going to love it round here. Very fast and flowing in times, and these boys should really have fun out there tonight. So we've got 3 15-minute races. You know the format now. Race 1 coming up for you right now. So let's get to that grid. So pole position, we've got Vexman, who's been having a great last couple of rounds, and in fact leads the championship at the moment. We've got Sideways George in second, his teammates, Team Silver in third, Molson fourth, Tino fifth, Dan in sixth, Firepower seventh, Jim Bob in eighth, Prime Machine in ninth, Stealth in 10th, Hodgie in 11th, Potsy in 12th, and Lee Whip in 13th. All running intermediates, because actually this first race has turned out to be a wet race. So the guys should have fun out there as well in these damp conditions. So let's get to that action then and see how they get on. So window wipers are on, obviously. And away we go. Good start. Vexman gets them away then. As he heads up to turn 1, is his teammate there? I think his teammate's followed him through. He has. So the two Audis 1 and 2 then. They've been having a great couple of last rounds. The Audi's really showing its strength, apart from Sideways. One of the rounds where it was a complete disaster. The car just didn't want to do anything. But so far these last couple of rounds have been okay. Oh, Tim Silver just cutting that corner in third, but gets a good run out of there. Does he get a penalty though? No, looks okay. What a great run he got. He's going to have a look as well as attacking Sideways. He's up the outside. Can't go around the outside, although if he does, he'll be on the inside as they come through the S's. But no, Sideways gets there. So remains in third place does Team Silver. And we've got Tino in fourth in that GTR. Should be a handful round here in that car. I should know, I've driven it and it's a handful in the dry. So should be fun and games in this conditions. Jim Bob close behind in fifth in that Viper. So top 5 then. Just pulling a small gap back to Firepower in 6th, who's had a good start. They're in 6th place, didn't have his best round last time out. Going to try and make up for it here, but couldn't have started in worse conditions for these boys, could it? Wet here in race 1. Someone's got a penalty up front. Not sure who that was. Is that Team Silver? Possibly. But anyway, Firepower 6th. Lee Whip gone up to 7th. What a great start. Lee was at the back in 13th, so you know, half a lap through or in, and already it's halfway through the field. That's a superb bit of driving from Lee. Must have been something happened at the back there, because Molson's there in 8th and wouldn't expect him to be back there, along with his teammate Dan in 10th, Prime Machine in between them in 9th. Oh, and Lee goes wide. Oh, and Molson, sorry, has a squiggle on. I think Lee put him off a little bit there. So Molson's dropping down there, losing down to 11th, down to 12th. Through goes Hodgie, through goes Stealth. Dan had that little moment, didn't he? And Molson nearly went with him. So Stealth in 12th, Potsy there in 13th. And at the back, plenty of time though. Audrey then, trying to chase down Dan. Molson behind them in 11th, and Audrey up the inside. Has he got there? I think he has. He does, get up there. Dan's gone a bit wide. Oh, everyone be careful on those curbs. So Odgie up to 8th. Molson actually has got through on his teammate in the 9th. So Molson followed Odgie through. So great move there from Molson. Let's just have a look back up top and see whoever it was who had the penalty. He's got rid of it. Tino still in 4th, chasing down Team Silver. Now, can Tino get up the outside for the inside on Team Silver? No, he wasn't far enough up, but Jim Bob looking strong again in that Viper. Oh, Team Silver give it too much welly. You heard it, didn't you? The revs, put the revs up too much, and that was the end of that. Back end just went, flicked him round. In fairness, only lost a couple of spots, more than he would have liked, of course, but could have been a whole lot worse. That gap back to Hodgie in 8th. So let's have a look at our leaders and see how they're getting on. Our leader, because Vexman is showing that sort of form that he's in at the moment. Heading it up from pole position. Top of the pile in the standings at the moment is Vexman. It's him and then Molson in 2nd on the championships, and then really quite a big gap back then to Team Silver in 3rd place. And then it's all very, very close in the top, well, 5, 6 drivers in terms of points, but Vexman is out in front, and he's got his teammate covering him in 2nd if he needs it. There he is. The 2 Audis though look like they were made for these conditions, because they seem so settled, look very, very good at the moment. And that's about all I'm going to say, because with my commentator's curse that I always seem to put on these drivers, I'm not going to say any more. So Vex sideways, Tino's got through. Jim Bob's following him though. Oh, and a bit of a penalty there for Tino. Half a second, he'll get off now. Yeah, gets scrubbed that off very nice and easy, and Firepower behind him as well. Jim Bob in there. There's Firepower just had one as well that he just scrubbed off. He's going to lose a spot to Lee, who's good up into 5th place. So Firepower in stick. Lee making his way through this field, looking good in that Beetle at the moment. I wonder if these boys, what they're finding it like here. Is anybody actually going without any traction on? There's always going to be 1 or 2 aliens within the group that can drive these conditions without any traction. Oh, and Lee. Oh no, it was Team Silver. Team Silver. I thought it was Lee who had the penalty, but it wasn't. Team Silver going up the inside, but yeah, got that half a second penalty. Must have just crossed the cut the chicane on the hill there. Goes a little bit wide. All right, though, just running it off. Gets himself to 5th though. Lee and Firepower on the back of them. Hodgie is close behind too. And then Molson, and actually they're all very close, aren't they? All the way back from sort of, well, 5th to 9th, 10th, maybe even 11th. Got this whole train of cars all sort of parked up behind Team Silver there. There's that gap in front of him. Looks like it's increasing a little bit to Jim Bob and Tino. Team Silver though, he's going to get rid of that penalty at some point, and that's going to lose him some spots, I think, or maybe a spot. So let's have a look at top spot. He's still there, Vexman, and his teammate is catching him. I'm sure his teammate won't interfere with his race. We're 6-7 minutes into this race now, and I mean, if the opportunity is there, I'm sure Sideways will go for it, but he certainly is not going to take his teammate out, especially with him leading the championship and everything, so that'd be some team meeting afterwards if he did that, wouldn't it? But Vexman then 1st, Sideways 2nd, and then a big gap already, only halfway through this race, back to Jim Bob in 3rd, who's done a great job to get himself there. Having a superb couple of rounds is Jim Bob. Oh, a little bit slow through there though. He's got his indicator going, not sure there, perhaps he's just knocked that. Tino is all over the back of him in 4th. So Tino having a good race this time out as well. So a couple of little groups, group of 2 at the front with the Audis, and then these 2 boys in 3rd and 4th. Nicely round now. And then that gap back to Lee, who's still keeping that 5th place, and he's just pulling away from the rest now. Firepower up to 6th. Team Silver 7th, he's dropped down to 7th, so he's had a moment somewhere. So the 2 teammates here, the 2 Mercedes teammates. I think Firepower just let his teammate Team Silver through. So they look like team orders there as well. Then we've got Molson and Dan, so then we've got the 2 McLarens. So we've got sort of loads of pairs, groups here. Team Silver with a penalty again. Dan Bailey also with a penalty. all cutting that chicane, and I think Hodgie got one as well. He did. Got 1.5 for Hodgie. So blimey, he's probably cut the chicane, gone through the shops, grabbed the newspaper, and come out the other side. 1.5 second penalty. My goodness me. Back to 11 for him, and then Stealth in 12. Not sure Stealth particularly likes these conditions, but he won't give up. Potsy back there in 13th. I'm pretty sure he doesn't like them, and he just grabs a little penalty there as well. So I think they'll be glad to get shot at this first race, won't they? Sideways caught up with his teammate. No, Vexman's gone. So our leader, Vexman, is he's really pushing, but he's keeping it on the black stuff and on the island, and that's all that matters really. And he's really under no pressure whatsoever, and looks like he's off and running for another victory here. And I promised I wouldn't put the commentator's curse on anybody, and I've just said it, haven't I? And I hope it don't come true, for Vexman's sake anyway. Well, we'll keep watching. If it does, he can always punch me afterwards. So Sideways second, Jim Bob, there he is in third. Still with that 40 indicator flashing. Least of his worries though is focusing on keeping that powerful Viper straight and going forwards. And then Tino just pulling off the back of him a little bit now. Tino, but still in fourth. Still a good showing from him. Molson up to fifth, so now here he comes. Now second place man in the championship. He's got himself to fifth. Got himself sort of caught up in a bit of the melee behind. Couldn't get himself through. He's managed to clear all that mess now, and I think he's a little bit too late. 10 minutes in, 11 minutes in nearly. So we've only actually got a few minutes left of this race, and I think he's about all we can hope for now. He's just hoping for a slip up in front of him. And Team Silver, who got another penalty, I'm going to call that the Team Silver corner. Unbelievable. I think he's got a penalty every single lap so far. Dan trying to have a look up the inside or outside. No, didn't make that stick. Now up the inside because he's running off that penalty, or some of it. Oh, and Molson, did he have a moment? Oh no, maybe not. So Dan then really trying to chase down. Lee's dropped back to 8th, so Lee's had a moment somewhere, hasn't he? Because he was in 5th place. Going around the outside though, Lee. Oh, Dan, has he made it? No, but if he could stay there, he'd be on the inside. No, he didn't. Just pulled back a little bit there. And then Firepower back to 9th then. Team Silver still with that penalty. So Lee in 8th. Team Silver, Firepower in 9th, battling with Prime Machine. Is that the inside Prime Machine? No, can't quite get there. And actually, it looks like it's getting wetter, isn't it, as the race goes on. The spray, can see barely anything, hardly see the car in front. Horrible conditions. And Prime still chasing down Firepower in 10th place, then Hodgie in 11th, and actually being closed right in by Stealth, who's in 12th now. So Stealth having a look, see if he can make another place up here as we come into the last few minutes. Potsy is well back in 13th place. Be glad to get the racing slicks on after this one. Stealth. Oh, and there's penalties galore. I mean, literally every car ahead of him has got penalty. Firepower's got one. Lee's got one. Dan's got one. Anybody else? I think that was it, but I think that was enough, wasn't it? Dan then, 7th. Very easy though, to be fair, to get penalties in the dry around here, let alone in the wet. You only have to be slightly off the racing line, and it's very unforgiving around here with penalties. And no, trying to stay with his teammate Molson and Team Silver. So they come up this back straight. Team Silver attacking Molson. Oh, and attacking so much. He's doing a bit of grass cutting too. controlled that well, just let off the throttle a bit, just let it roll. Couldn't touch that brake at all. It would have been pirouetting, probably still pirouetting when the race finished. With that wet grass out there. Dan with another penalty, or is it the same penalty? It might be the same penalty actually. He's just running off. Oh, and there's a little bit of moment at the back there for Lee. Now he's fighting with Prime. Prime's up to 8th, so Prime doing well, getting himself up there into 8th place. As we come into the last minute of this race. This is what the drivers have all been wanting to hear through their headsets. Final lap, final lap. Quick shower. And be back on it for races 2 and 3. So let's have a look at our leader then as we come round to complete or finish this race 1. And it is still Vexman out there. As he comes round his final, we'll stick with him now as he comes round his final section. I mean, he's looking all very close back there, but got to stick with the leader now as he comes around through the bus stop and hasn't really put a foot wrong, has he? As I say, led from the front, and that was that. So Vexman it is. Congratulations, another win for Vexman here in race 1 at Circuit des Spa, Francorchamps. Flash of the lights, yeah, very good. Sideways, good second place for him. So I think Team Audi, brilliant. Tino is going to get his 3rd actually. Got past Jim Bob, probably that penalty that done it. Jim Bob runs wide, so Tino with a good 3rd place. Jim Bob with the 4th, well done. And then who's 5th? It's going to be Molson, who gets that 5th place. Team Silver 6th, Dan 7th, Prime 8th, Lee 9th, Odgie 10th, Firepower 11th, Stealth 12th. Then we know Potsy coming up in 13th place. So that's your race 1. The forecast is showing that there shouldn't be any more rain coming. It was just that shower during the race here. Should be dry conditions for the next 2. Fingers crossed as he comes across the line, Potsy. So there's your race 1 then. Hope you enjoyed that. Catch me again soon for races 2 and 3, and I'll see you then.